When dealing with global currencies or accounting currencies on SoStocked, there's a couple different ways that you can adjust your currencies across the site. The first way of doing that is coming to the settings and going to your default currency and selecting how you want that default currency to appear. This is going to be particularly important when it comes to accounting. So if you are dealing with things such as COGS, etc., in a particular accounting currency, you're going to want to set this currency to the one that you typically deal with. It'll be most likely defaulted to USD, but let's say you deal with it in euros, you're going to want to select euros. Now, you can toggle this on to change all the suppliers' default currencies to the euro if that's how you're typically going to be dealing with purchase orders. Now, if that's not the case, we will use Google's API to constantly update the exchange rate so that when we're taking inventory snapshots on your inventory page, it's always being updated. Now, once this is done, you can click Save and update the cost per unit using the exchange rate. The exchange rate is pulled in right here. And when this is saved, you're going to give it a second, and now it's going to change all of the currencies. You'll notice here on, let's go to inventory valuation dashboard. It'll be a little easier to see. Now you're going to notice that estimated shipping value, etc., is going to be printed in it's going to be leveraging the euro. Okay, now if it is in a dollar, there may be a dollar sign, etc. So depending on what symbols are being leveraged, it will be using that currency. Now, moving forward, if you want particular vendors, for example, let's say you have a vendor, particularly a supplier, that is dealing in a different currency. For example, they're in the US, or a lot of times you see Chinese yen, etc. You can set the default currency for this supplier to be a certain currency. Now, if I change that to something different and I click Save, it's going to ask me a couple different questions. Do you want me to convert the currency using today's exchange rate or simply change the symbol? So let's say, for example, on the product page, and here will be a good example, I had a currency set for that supplier, and you'll notice right here to be in dollars or euros. But for whatever reason, I was actually, this was before SoStocked made the change, and I just want to, I'm actually considering this euros. I just want to change this symbol to the euro. Then all I'm going to do when I select the different currency, right, I'm going to select, or whatever currency, I'm just going to pick a random one here. I'm going to pick just change symbol. Or if I want to actually convert it into whatever this new exchange rate is, I will click convert using the exchange rate. So it gives you two different options at this juncture. As well as now when you are going to create a purchase order, okay, or a PO, you're going to notice that if I use ABC supplier and I select a product, now it's going to use that default currency. It's going to have converted it. But let's say I want to change this to a different currency. Now I can edit the currencies at the top of the page, and I can follow the same process of either just changing the symbol or change it to a new, again, I'm going to go to USD. I'm going to save and use the exchange rate. So since my exchange rate was so low, or I had such a small amount, now I can start dealing in dollars or yen or whatever one that I want, and the entire purchase order will be in that amount. Now, payment terms, everything, because it is all with that supplier and it all needs to work within the same exchange rate, will use the same currency for the entire PO and per PO. So that is why we've updated this to be manipulated at a vendor level.